They told you long hair was only for the young, as if beauty had an expiration date, as if turning 60 meant surrendering your softness, your sensuality, your power. But what if I told you that long hair after 60 isn't about holding on to the past? It's about claiming the future on your own terms? In this video, I'm going to show you 5 powerful reasons why growing your hair long, yes, now, might be the most elegant, liberating, and unexpected decision you've made in years. Not because you need to look younger, but because you deserve to feel like yourself again. If that stirs something in you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell. Because here, we don't follow rules written for someone else's life. Let's talk about the first reason you should absolutely consider growing your hair long after 60. Because long hair frames the face in a way that brings softness, elegance, and timeless beauty. This is something most people never tell you. They talk about anti-aging creams, lifting hairstyles, makeup tricks, but no one really talks about how the length of your hair can completely change the way your features are perceived. Not to hide age, but to honor it. As we grow older, our faces tell more of our story. The cheekbones settle into grace, the jawline becomes more defined, and every line that appears adds a kind of quiet power. And what long hair does, especially when it's cut with intention, is bring movement and softness to that structure. It's like a natural filter, but instead of blurring or covering, it adds dimension. Layers that fall along the jaw can soften strong angles. Waves near the cheekbone can draw attention to the eyes. The overall length brings balance, like a soft frame around a cherished portrait. I want you to think about that word, frame. In art, a frame doesn't compete with the painting. It enhances it. That's what long hair can do for a mature woman's face. It brings context, warmth, flow. And yet, how many times have you heard this phrase, "At your age, you should cut your hair," as if beauty has a deadline, as if softness, sensuality, or elegance must be packed away once you blow out the 60 candles. It's not just wrong, it's harmful. Because when a woman chooses to keep her hair long, she's not trying to hold on to youth. She's choosing to show up in the world as she is, on her own terms, with softness that doesn't ask for permission. And the beauty of it? This isn't just about emotion. There's real design at play here. Professionals who study visagism, the science of how hair complements facial structure, will tell you that longer lengths can elongate the face, soften features, and bring a youthful lightness to the overall silhouette. But not youthful in a trying to be 30 again way. Youthful in a vibrant, fully alive way. Even the way hair moves plays into this. When it brushes the shoulder, catches the light, or falls gently near the collarbone, it brings energy and life. It adds softness in a world that so often tries to sharpen you with age. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever stood in front of the mirror and wondered, what if I just let it grow again? Not to look younger, not to be anyone else, but just to feel a little more you. If you have, tell me in the comments, because I promise you are not alone. And your voice might give another woman the courage to ask the same question. And here's what's truly powerful. You don't need to go full Rapunzel. Just letting it grow a bit past the chin, the shoulders, adding some layered softness, can change everything. You'll feel it in the mirror, in your posture, in the way people look at you, but more importantly, in the way you look at you. Because this isn't about vanity. It's about visibility. And when your reflection starts to look more like how you feel on the inside, graceful, complex, luminous, something inside clicks. That's not cosmetic. That's personal. So yes, the first reason is simple but transformative. Long hair has the power to frame your face in a way that feels gentle, alive, and deeply aligned with who you are becoming, not who you used to be. And if that's just the beginning, imagine what else is possible. Now stay with me, because next we're going to explore something even more exciting. How growing your hair long opens up an entire world of personal style and expression that most women are told they no longer have access to. And once you see that, you'll never look at your hair the same way again. Let me ask you something that most people won't. What if cutting your hair short was never really your choice, but just the result of years of subtle expectations? What if growing it long again isn't about reclaiming your youth, but about reclaiming your freedom? Because here's the second reason you should consider long hair after 60. It gives you back something that short hair often takes away: versatility. Real, everyday, creative freedom. The ability to wake up and decide how you want to show up in the world, not just emotionally, but visually. One day, you're soft and reflective. Maybe you let it fall naturally, loose waves framing your thoughts. The next, you pull it into a sleek ponytail, confident, structured, ready to own the day. Or a low bun for elegance, a scarf for personality, a braid for playfulness, a messy top knot that says, "I didn't try, but somehow I still look incredible." This is the beauty of long hair. It doesn't lock you into one version of yourself. And the truth is, short styles, no matter how chic or practical, tend to become repetitive. They often require more daily upkeep to look done. Less room for change, less room for mood. And if you've ever felt like your haircut doesn't quite match your energy that day, you know exactly what I mean. Long hair, on the other hand, is a canvas. It adapts to you. It moves with you. And here's something deeper to consider. This isn't just about style. This is about self-expression. For so many women, especially those in midlife and beyond, we've spent decades dressing for others, cutting our hair for the job, toning it down for the family, making ourselves smaller, simpler, less difficult, because heaven forbid a woman over 60 still wants to turn heads. But style has nothing to do with age, and everything to do with agency. When you grow your hair long again, you're telling the world something quietly radical. I am still evolving. I am still expressive. I am still mine. And there's power in that. Let's also get practical, because this isn't just about how you feel. It's about what you do with it. With the right cut and care, long hair is surprisingly easy to manage. Light layers that remove weight, products that enhance natural texture, simple styling tricks. These are tools, not chores. You don't need elaborate blowouts. You don't need 5 different brushes. You just need permission to explore, and maybe a little guidance along the way. That's what makes this so exciting. Long hair after 60 isn't about holding on to something. It's about discovering something new and letting it unfold day by day. Now let me pause for a moment and ask you, if you had total freedom, no judgment, no rules, no outside pressure, how would you wear your hair tomorrow morning? Would you let it flow past your shoulders, twist it into something soft and sculptural? Wrap it in a silk scarf just because it made you smile? If you know the answer, or even if you don't, tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And I can promise you, someone else out there needs to hear that it's okay to want more than one version of herself. Because that's the real message here. You don't have to choose between being elegant or being free. You can be both. You already are both. You've just been told otherwise for far too long. And when you allow your hair to become an extension of your style again, a part of your mood, your personality, your statement, you're not being superficial. You're being sovereign. That's what long hair gives back to you. Not just the look, the choice. And that choice is just getting started. Because up next, we're going into something that reaches even deeper than style. Something almost spiritual. A reason that has everything to do with memory, identity, and rediscovering the parts of you that time never truly erased. Now let's talk about a reason that goes far beyond mirrors, compliments, or even style. This one lives deeper, in memory, identity, and emotion. The third reason you should consider letting your hair grow long after 60 is this, because long hair reconnects you with parts of yourself that time hasn't taken away, just quietly tucked away. You see, hair isn't just hair, it's history. It holds moments, the feeling of your mother brushing it before school, the scent of summer when it whipped around your shoulders, the way someone once tucked it behind your ear and everything inside you stilled, the braid you wore to feel strong, the bun you twisted before a big decision, the way you shook it loose at the end of a long day and finally felt like yourself again. We don't talk about this enough, that our hair holds our stories, that for many women, cutting it short wasn't a style decision. It was survival. It was practicality. It was what made sense when life got busy, when kids needed raising, when jobs demanded simplicity, when aging started to whisper, "Quiet down." But what if you didn't need to quiet down anymore? What if the length of your hair could act like a thread, gently stitching you back to the woman you used to be? Or maybe, to the woman you never quite had the chance to fully become. That's what happens when you grow your hair again. It's not about nostalgia, it's about integration. Because the truth is, we don't outgrow our femininity, we grow into it. And sometimes, the hair you thought belonged to your past might actually belong to your most authentic present. There's something sacred in the ritual of caring for it again. Running your hands through it, trying new styles, watching it move in the light, realizing it's not about looking like you used to. It's about feeling more like yourself now. And don't be surprised if other people notice. Not just how you look, but how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you smile. Because when you reconnect with a part of yourself that had gone quiet, the whole room feels it. And here's what's even more powerful. This reconnection has nothing to do with vanity. It's about visibility, ownership, wholeness. That's why so many women cry the first time they let their gray hair grow out and see how beautiful it is. Or the first time they braid their hair again after decades. Or the first time they walk past a mirror and pause, not to criticize, but to see. Because it's her. She's still there. And for some, this experience isn't even conscious. It just happens. One day, they stop cutting. They stop apologizing. They stop editing themselves. And in that stillness, something very old and very alive begins to bloom again. I want to invite you to reflect with me for a moment. Have you ever looked back at a photo of yourself and thought, she felt powerful? I miss her. Not the way you looked, but the way you lived. If you have, share that moment in the comments. Let's start naming those memories, not to live in them, but to remind ourselves they're still part of us. Because here's the truth no one tells you. Hair can be a bridge, from then to now, from who you've been to who you're becoming. And long hair? It doesn't make you more feminine. It doesn't make you more worthy. But for some women, it helps you feel all those things again. And feeling them changes everything. So the next time someone says, "Oh, you're letting your hair grow," you can smile. Not with explanation, not with apology, just with the quiet certainty that you are remembering yourself, piece by beautiful piece. And if that sounds like a small thing, it's not. Because sometimes the smallest changes, like the simple decision to grow your hair, can unlock the loudest truths. You're not done. You're not fading. You're not aging gracefully on someone else's timeline. You are unfolding. And that unfolding deserves space. It deserves softness. It deserves a reflection that feels like you. And that's the gift long hair gives back. Not just how you look, but what you remember. Now stay with me, because what we're about to explore next is a game changer. Not emotional, but practical. And yet, surprisingly liberating. Because if one of your fears is that long hair is just too much work after a certain age, you're about to find out that we're living in a time where caring for long hair, even silver, fine, or thinning strands, has never been easier. Let me start this part with a question that might make you pause. Who decided that aging means simplifying, and that simplifying means doing less of what makes you feel beautiful? Because here's the truth. We're living in a time where you don't have to give anything up. Not color, not expression, not style, and definitely not your hair. So let me give you the fourth reason to grow your hair long after 60. Because modern hair care technology has changed everything. And maintaining long, healthy hair has never been easier. Years ago, long hair past a certain age might have felt like a chore. Products were limited, tools were harsh, and most advice wasn't made with mature hair in mind. But that's no longer the case. Today we have access to lightweight masks that strengthen without weighing down. Shampoos designed specifically for silver strands that brighten instead of dull. Leave-ins that restore moisture to thinning textures. Styling tools that protect the cuticle instead of frying it. And techniques like dusting instead of full-on trims, allowing length to grow while keeping ends fresh. If you've been holding on to the belief that long hair is too much work, let this be your permission to let that belief go. Because it's not about spending hours in the bathroom. It's about finding the right tools and using them with intention. And here's the best part. Your hair doesn't have to be thick to be long. It doesn't have to be dark to be radiant. It doesn't have to look like it did when you were 30 to be completely breathtaking today. Fine hair can look ethereal and soft when worn longer. Silver strands can shimmer like spun light when cared for properly. Curls, waves, straight textures, they all have their own kind of magic at this stage of life. The point is, you don't have to compromise beauty for ease anymore. Technology is on your side, and when you combine modern care with personal style, the result isn't just maintenance, it's empowerment. Now, let's go even deeper. Because the fifth and final reason to grow your hair long after 60 might be the most important of all. Because challenging outdated beauty standards is no longer rebellion, it's leadership. Keeping your hair long is a personal choice, yes, but it's also a quiet, graceful form of resistance. When you walk into a room with long silver hair, hair that flows, that shines, that moves, you are saying something without speaking a word. I am not disappearing. I am not playing small. I am not performing youth. I am owning age with elegance. That matters, not just for you, but for every woman who sees you. We live in a culture that still, even now, tries to tell women that beauty has a time limit, that softness, sensuality, attention belong to the young, that at 60, 70, 80, your only job is to look appropriate. But appropriate to whom? Letting your hair grow is not just about how you look. It's about who you decide to be. It's an act of defiance wrapped in silk, a message written in strands. It tells the world, I define myself, not the calendar, not the magazines, not even the mirror. And perhaps most powerfully, it gives other women permission to do the same. You become an example, a visual revolution. And that might sound dramatic, but make no mistake, visibility is a radical act when the world tells you to fade. And you weren't made to fade. You were made to evolve, to lead, to express, to live fully. And if long hair, something so seemingly simple, becomes the way you remind yourself and the world of that truth, then wear it like a crown. Now I want to know something from you. Do you feel like people still expect you to tone it down? Do you get comments like, you should cut it? Or, isn't that too much for your age? If you do, tell me. Let's bring those comments into the light and take their power away. Leave them in the comments and let's respond with strength, not silence. Because here's what I know. You're not here to be smaller. You're here to be softer and stronger at the same time. And when you wear your hair long, with intention, with care, with pride, you're doing something incredibly modern. You're not chasing youth, you're modeling freedom. So yes, grow it. Not because you should, because you can. And if anyone asks you why, just smile and say, because I've never been more myself than I am right now. We've come full circle now. 5 reasons, but really one truth. Your style is yours, and it's more powerful today than ever before. Now let's bring it all home. So here we are, and maybe now, growing your hair long doesn't sound like an indulgence, but like a return. Because this isn't about the past, it's about presence, about letting go of rules you never agreed to in the first place, about saying, this is what makes me feel beautiful, and that's reason enough. You've seen how long hair can soften and elevate your features, how it opens up your style again, how it reconnects you with parts of yourself you thought were long gone, and how today's tools make it more possible than ever. But more than that, you've seen how it becomes a quiet act of power, a graceful refusal to disappear. And if that resonated with you, even a little, take a second to give this video a like. It helps the message reach more women like us. Subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next time we talk about beauty that actually honors your life. And please, share in the comments. What part of this spoke to you the most? I'd love to hear your story. Your presence here matters, and if you're ready to keep feeling inspired, click on the video right here on the screen. I'll show you the timeless fashion secrets of women over 60 who've truly mastered the art of elegance. I'll meet you there.